Hi, in this video we'll be looking at some of the ways to export or consume data from RapidFTR. Now you essentially get two ways to do this. The first one is by simple file export, and the second bit is by consuming data through the API that's provided. And I'll explain both of these as we go. So let's first look at the simple file export. What this is essentially just access this to the web application. You select the child records you want to export, and then you select the format in which you want to export that record. So let's actually go ahead and look at those formats. So the first one is export to PDF. This is straightforward. You select a record you want, and all the details of that record, inclusive of the photo, are dumped into the one PDF in a sort of a document format. The second one is export to PhotoWall. What this is, it's essentially a PDF as well. The only difference is you're not getting all the details related to a record. You're getting an enlarged photo and the ID of that record under that photo. Where this is mostly used is when they're putting up walls of missing children in the various refugee camps. That's just one example. The next one is export to CSV. This is useful if you want to export a ton of records and you want to use them in a sort of spreadsheet format. So if you're unfamiliar with what CSV is, you can pretty much open this file with any spreadsheet editing program that you have, like Excel, and you'll be able to read this in sort of a grid format. The next one is export to CPIMS. Now, just to explain, CPIMS is not a file format. It's actually a case management system used by a few aid agencies, and to be quite honest about it, the exported file is actually an Excel file. The only difference is it's exported in a format that is very specific to CPIMS. So if you want to access records through something like Excel, it's best to use export to CSV. So these are actually the only formats you get at the moment in RapidFTR. Just one thing to note, with all the formats, all the various methods of exporting to a file, you must understand that it is all password protected, for the reason being that RapidFTR keeps sensitive data about children. So you'll never get a situation where a file is exported and it is not protected with a password. Right, so assuming you now have your own system, I've already made mention of something like CPIMS, a case management system. You have your own system for your own organization, but you want to access RapidFTR data on the fly, and exporting as a single file just won't do. So the way you can do this is you sort of have to write an in-between application that will then access our API, so some sort of add-on to your own application. It will access data through the API provided in RapidFTR, and it is through that you'll then consume the data. So let's look at what you can and cannot do with the API. So what you can do, you can access all the child records. So this is pretty much all the child records in that particular instance of RapidFTR. This goes the same for all the pictures and all the audio files related to the child records. What you cannot do, so you can access user records, user accounts, permissions, roles. That's all not accessible. You can access the reports as well. And the most important bit to take note of here is the API is a read-only API, so you can only consume data. You cannot create or edit records. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.